Infertility treatment? That's a waste of money. The fact that we can't have children is your fault.
My husband showered me with verbal abuse and dropped a huge bomb on me at the end.
I'll divorce you, a wife who can't conceive, and marry your sister instead.
Yes, my husband chose my sister over someone infertile like me. My name is Gloria. I live with my husband, Jimmy. The days spent together after marrying my beloved husband were happy. It was happiness in its own way. However, as a couple, we struggled to conceive. It was about 2 years into our marriage when we began discussing infertility treatments. Hey, Jimmy, I've been thinking about having a baby soon.
But you know...
Jimmy responds with an unenthusiastic demeanor.
Infertility treatment has its own challenges, right? It's not just about the physical aspects. The costs can be substantial too.
That's true, but if it means we can have a baby through treatment, I think it's okay to rely on the power of medicine a little.
Well, that might be true, but...
While not outright rejecting infertility treatment, Jimmy doesn't seem eager to actively pursue it. Because of my husband's job transfer, I became a full-time homemaker, so there's probably financial anxiety as well. Jimmy, don't worry about the money. It's been 6 months since we moved, and I'm getting used to this place. I'm thinking about finding a job soon. If I start earning, we won't have to worry so much about finances, right? Once I start earning an income, we'll have more to live on than we do now. Then, I'm sure my husband will be more open to the infertility treatment. But my husband reacted differently than I expected.
Well, I mean, if you're going to work, Gloria, that's not a bad thing.
But?
Looking for a job just for infertility treatments seems a bit off. I mean, normally everyone just naturally gets pregnant, right?
It's not that simple. Women's bodies aren't that straightforward.
You often hear that if there's trouble having kids, it's usually because of issues on the women's side.
Feeling a bit irritated by Jimmy's words, I respond. Yes, it's often said that it's the woman's fault, but infertility can also occur on the man's side. It could be due to alcohol, obesity, childhood illnesses affecting male infertility. In response to my explanation, Jimmy makes a displeased expression.
Well, that might be true, but statistically, the chances are higher for women. I haven't had any major illnesses, and I don't drink excessively. Anyway, I don't think there's an issue on my side.
So in other words, you're suggesting the issue lies with me?
I didn't say that. I'm just talking about general probabilities.
He doesn't explicitly say that issue lies with me, but it's clear that Jimmy thinks that way. However, the possibility of the issue being on my side is not zero, so I decide to undergo infertility testing at the hospital. Unfortunately, upon returning home, my mother-in-law was there waiting for me. Hey, Gloria, where were you? Despite being a homemaker, you shouldn't be wandering around outside. Hurry up and get inside, it's unbearably hot. My mother-in-law always visits unannounced to keep an eye on me, even if I manage the household chores properly. This area is dirty and this part is not up to standard. She criticizes various aspects of my house cleaning. I had no choice but to let her in the house, and as soon as she opened the door, my mother-in-law said, I heard you're going to undergo infertility treatment. Why would you know about that? Of course, I heard it from Jimmy. Oh, is that so? I had planned to take some time before bringing up the topic of infertility treatment, so it was unexpected that my husband had already talked about it. You know, Gloria, the reason we allowed you to marry into this family is for our future heir, right? Yet even after 2 years of marriage not being able to conceive a child? I don't understand why my son married you in the first place. I'm sorry I can't show you grandchildren, Mom, but from now on I'll work together with Jimmy to try and conceive, so... In response to my non-confrontational words, my mother-in-law let out a big sigh. Listen, Gloria, just putting in effort won't magically make you pregnant, you know. It's clear that the cause of infertility lies with you. Maybe you should consider divorcing or something. Divorce? But... Well, isn't that the case? And Jimmy being infertile is just unthinkable. Like parent, like child. Not only my husband, but also my mother-in-law firmly believes that the cause of infertility lies with me. Seemingly satisfied with her verbal victory, my mother-in-law left that day. When I reported what my mother-in-law has said to my husband when he returned from work, he responded.
See? Even my mom says there's nothing wrong with me, right? If there's infertility, I still think it's more likely on your side.
He nodded with a smug expression. It's probably futile to say anything to my husband now. He won't even consider the possibility of being at fault, even by an inch. I decided to wait for the results of the infertility test. A few days later, I went back to the hospital. There, the doctor revealed a surprising fact.
So, there's no issue with you, Gloria.
Is that so? But then why? The doctor awkwardly continued.
Have a good discussion with your husband. If you truly wish for a baby, I think it would be a good idea for your husband to undergo tests as well.
Tests? For my husband too?
While I can't definitively say there's an issue with either of you, achieving pregnancy is a collaborative effort between a couple. Just to be sure, it might be good for your husband to undergo tests.
I see. I confirmed that there was no issue with me, and I felt relieved at the doctor's words. But more than that, how should I convey this to my husband? Trying to be indirect might just complicate things. The test results are out, so let's talk about it tonight. I sent this message and waited for my husband to return home. As I prepared dinner, my husband returned home after a while. Strangely, my mother-in-law was with him. Mom? Why are you...
I made the decision. When I told her the test results were out, she said she wanted to come along.
My husband wore a confident expression. It seemed like he hadn't even considered the possibility of there being an issue on his side. Come on, Gloria. Tell us the results already. Well, I can already guess, though. With a smug smile, I straightforwardly conveyed. There was no issue with me. The doctor suggested that Jimmy should also undergo tests.
Huh? Why do I have to?
In an unexpected turn, my husband visibly became displeased. Why? Because having a baby is something a couple should do together, right? Since there was nothing wrong with me, now it's your turn to get tested.
What's with that? Are you saying it's my fault?
No, it's not like that. I just want us both to get tested. And if there's no issue on either side, then we can be reassured. If, however, there's an issue with you, we can seek appropriate treatment. As I desperately tried to calm down my angry husband, my mother-in-law interjected again. Enough already. Jimmy has always been in good health. He doesn't have any physical issues. I don't think Jimmy is the cause of your infertility. My mother-in-law seemed to be completely ignoring my words, adamant that there was no issue with her son. To convince both of them, I showed the medical report I received from the doctor. I got this today. It clearly states that there's no issue with me, right? However, my husband and mother-in-law merely glanced at the report without bothering to read it. They seemed unwilling to accept the truth. Finally, my husband began spouting outrageous arguments.
Since women are the ones who get pregnant, it must be your fault.
Wait a minute. I showed you the medical report, didn't I? Then my mother-in-law, appearing exasperated, shrugged her shoulders. You probably forced it yourself, right? Doing something like this just because you don't want a divorce. Gloria, you're truly a frightening woman. What? Why would I do something like that? Don't say weird things. Please. Ignoring my protests, my mother-in-law and husband continued their conversation. Hey, Jimmy, wouldn't it be better to go for a younger girl?
Well, at this point, I don't really care. The timing is good.
Oh, that matter? Well, that's true. They say better late than never. That matter? What on earth are they talking about? A few minutes later, my husband uttered something unbelievable.
Actually, I got your sister pregnant.
Huh?
I found out about her pregnancy recently. If I'm infertile, your sister shouldn't be pregnant, right?
You got my sister pregnant? Confused and overwhelmed, my mind couldn't keep up. Ignoring me, my husband continued.
So here's the plan. I'm thinking of marrying your sister, Serena. Mom also wants to see grandchildren soon, you know.
My head turned blank, and I felt like collapsing on the spot. Is my husband having an affair with my sister? Moreover, impregnating her and planning to marry her? Wait a minute. Serena is still a college student, isn't she? Besides, she doesn't even have a boyfriend.
Yeah, but she started liking me. For a while now, we've been in a relationship.
Since when?
We've been involved for a while.
My husband casually revealed this cruel information. While I was seeking advice for infertility, my husband was secretly involved with my sister behind my back. Abandoned by my husband and betrayed by my own sister. All the while confiding in my husband about infertility without a clue. As I stood speechless, my mother-in-law added insult to injury. Do you understand now? My son has a body capable of properly impregnating a woman. So, the cause is you. A wife who can't bear children is no longer needed.
That's true.
My husband also takes advantage of his mother's stance.
If that's the case, the decision is to divorce you, Gloria. I've brought the divorce agreement, so go ahead and sign it quickly.
Saying that, the husband happily handed me the divorce agreement. Are these people sane? Impregnating my sister and even remarrying? It's not normal. At that moment, an indescribable anger swelled inside me. Fine, I'll divorce. In exchange, I'll ask you to pay me alimony in full. Once the matter was settled, my husband immediately kicked me out of the house.
Goodbye, infertile woman. I'll be happy with your cute sister.
Days later, I returned to my parents' house and explained the situation. My father and mother were furious about this, but the truth is my sister had long been estranged from them, so I was the only one who had any contact with her. Due to her overly free-spirited nature, my sister had caused a lot of trouble for our parents, especially in terms of finances and relationships with the opposite sex. And after starting college, she was disowned by our parents. Even so, she was my one and only beloved sister. That's why I regularly invited her over for meals with my husband. I never expected that she would end up with my husband. My parents offered to call my sister and husband for a scolding, but I just told them, you don't have to do anything. Because I knew that even if they remarried, it wouldn't work out. And a few years later, I met Steve at my new workplace, married him, and gave birth to a daughter. As a happy family of 3, we went out together.
Hey, Gloria?
I was suddenly approached. Huh? Jimmy?
It's been a while, Gloria.
The voice belonged to my ex-husband. He glanced at my daughter and current husband, then looked at me resentfully.
Oh, so you've remarried. Good for you, finding a new partner.
Mind your own business. How does it feel to marry someone's sister? Upon hearing that, my ex-husband immediately made a sour face. I knew it. Pretending not to know anything, I asked him, What's with that face? Aren't you happy that you got my sister pregnant and not me?
Well,
My ex-husband responded with a pale face.
You know, that girl Serena was incredibly unfaithful. Even after giving birth, she kept cheating with my money. That's why we got divorced. I was forced to buy all sorts of baby items, and she even took the child with her.
Oh, that must have been quite the ordeal. Although I said that, I had known about it from the beginning. My sister was involved in frequent affairs, causing numerous troubles, and each time she had begged our parents for money. Confirming that my daughter and current husband weren't around, my ex-husband suddenly turned to me.
Hey, Gloria, how about giving us another shot?
Huh? What are you talking about? As you can see, I've already remarried.
But after all, that's just a stepchild, right? You don't have to force yourself to take care of someone else's child. I don't want any more kids, and from now on, let's live freely together.
It seems he mistook my daughter as my husband's child from another marriage. This man still thinks of me as infertile. To this misunderstanding man, I confidently revealed the truth. What are you saying? That child is my biological daughter.
Huh?
His expression at that moment is unforgettable. He looked about 5 times more foolish than usual.
But you were infertile?
Trembling and shocked, my ex-husband asked, and I calmly explained. Unfortunately, no. I married my current husband, and we conceived a daughter soon after. But more importantly, I wonder whose child my sister is pregnant with. Looking at my ex-husband with a mischievous smile, and his face turned pale.
Hey, what does that mean?
Nothing special. I was just curious. I've known for a while about my sister's promiscuous behavior, and besides, the cause of infertility might have been you. In other words, you were taken advantage of by my sister.
Taken advantage of?
Yeah. If a man is willing to marry and raise a child, anyone would have worked, right? But you misunderstood and fell into my sister's plan, getting remarried without even knowing you're raising a child from a stranger.
Wait, so you're saying I was used to beg for alms?
My ex-husband collapsed on the spot, crying, and clung to me.
Please, Gloria, you're the only one for me after all. I've been abandoned by Serena and the child. Even my mom turned her back on me. If things continue like this, I'll end up all alone.
I don't care. It's the result of your own actions. It's quite disgusting at your age, you know. Saying that with a disdainful look, I looked down on him. My husband slumped his shoulders, disheartened. Even after that, persistent Romeo emails continued to arrive from my husband.
I was wrong. I want to start over. There's no one else for me but you, Gloria. Please, come back. I won't cheat anymore.
However, without replying at all, I blocked him on everything. Later, it seemed my ex-husband had requested a DNA test for my sister's child. The result was clear. The child wasn't his. It seems that now he's in a state of seclusion, not going to work, and to top it off, even abandoned by his once supportive mother. Well, serves him right, I guess. Now, compared to the past, I have a precious family that is beyond comparison. I don't care about a man like him anymore. I will always be grateful to my husband for choosing me, and for us becoming husband and wife. I want to spend my days putting my daughter first.